Are we live?
Yeah, one person's on. There it is.
We're live.
Hello.
Hello. What's up, everybody? It's Lamar
And Angela.
and Angela, and we are here live, back again. It's the October 1st, and you know what that means.
It's the first one.
It's the first of the month. So grab your checks and get up. Hey, it's the first of the Anywho, welcome, guys. We're glad that you have a chance to join our channel. This is our virtual home. Come on in, take your shoes off, relax, sit a spell, because, honey, let me tell you, we weren't here last month, as some of you may have noticed, because we have had a time.
Yeah, it's been a busy time. Very much a busy time. Yeah.
So what had happened?
Yeah.
We have had such a whirlwind experience over the last couple of months that we felt like, okay, we're going to just have to bring y'all up to date and let y'all in on what has been going on
Right.
with the Martin clan.
Yeah.
It's been crazy. Absolutely crazy. So let's start off and say welcome. If you are new to our channel, if you've never been here before, we are a married couple with 3 kids and a dog. And we moved all the way from Maryland to Mexico and have been enjoying our lives here as expats.
Yeah.
In a whole new country. We've been in Mexico for over a year now. Can you believe that? First of all,
well, time moves fast.
It does.
It's really fast.
It absolutely does. Time has been moving so fast, indeed, that we have had to just kind of collect ourselves because a lot has happened within the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is our spoiled fur baby, Candy.
Yeah.
So just in case you're wondering what's going on with that one right there, she came in and demanded that we stop the live because she needs some rubbing time.
Yeah. I think she misses her brother, but
I think she's spoiled.
Yeah, she's spoiled. That baby girl. No. Candy is her barnacle.
Oh.
She stays stuck to Angela like glue.
Yeah, she does kind of do that.
Yeah.
She does do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, we wanted to welcome you. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please feel free to become a part of our family. Click the subscribe button that's down below, and even a like would help too.
Yeah.
Because we are on our way to our first milestone, which is 1,000 subscribers. So we just want to encourage you, just please. I ain't too proud to beg. Let me just go say, I ain't too proud to beg.
Yeah.
Okay, please subscribe to our channel.
You can subscribe for her too, because she's a cutie pie.
Yeah, she is. She is a cutie pie. Okay, so what had happened for us? I guess where should we start? Okay, so the last time at last we left off, it was August, or was it August?
That was July.
It was July.
No, it was August 1st. It was August 1st.
Well, the last live we had was in July.
No.
No?
No, it was August 1st.
It was August.
Yeah, because that was our 1 year.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And we were getting prepared at that point in time to take our oldest son, our only son, to college.
He's
so
back in the States.
He is back in the United States. He is officially a college freshman in Maryland at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, my alma mater.
Go ahead and say it.
Hawk Pride.
Catch it.
Ah! Okay. Anywho, he is back in the States and is loving it. But we had a time to get him there and to arrange all of that. Also, as that was going on, we had a little bit of a snafu with the place that we were living.
Yeah.
Now, how do you want to tell this story?
The snafu was the landlord.
Okay, you haven't seen this video yet because we were about to put this video up, giving you the whole house tour and all that kind of stuff. Those videos are still coming, but we had to take a break because in Mexico, there are many differences in terms of renting apartments and renting homes than it is back in the States.
Especially for families of 2, 3, 4, 5 or more.
Correct.
Yeah.
True. So what you may find is that when you are going to rent an apartment or rent a home, that you need to first have either what's called a fiador, which is someone who signs for your, like it's like a co-signer, someone who is a property owner here in the United States who is agreeing to put themselves out there,
Right.
so that if you skip off and don't pay the rent, they're agreeing to pay your rent.
Right.
That's the first thing. The second thing that you could have instead is what's called a polizza jurídica, which is basically like an insurance policy for the landlord
Right.
in case you bail out. Right?
And they do the background checks, on the income and all those things. So.
Right. So 9 times out of 10, they want you to have that. So, but another common thing that you may or may not experience, and here in Mexico, they're allowed to do all kinds of different things because it's like the wild, wild west, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But here in Mexico, some landlords will have as a clause that at the time of your renewal of your rent, that they can increase the rent by 10%.
Right.
10%.
Right.
I'm like, are we getting 10% more house?
Right.
Are we getting 10% more services? Y'all know? I mean, okay. So given that the dollar has been kind of on the decline, and but the rent ain't on the decline.
Right. And it would seem that there's been this thing going around about expats or foreigners driving up the cost of rent when it's actually the landlords who are asking. Now, if the immigrants or the expats don't agree to that and say no, maybe they wouldn't, but I think they are saying no because in the neighborhood where we moved from, there are several houses there that are currently still empty because...
That's an important part to this whole story.
Yeah.
So let's go back. It's coming to the end of our lease, and we knew that there was going to be an automatic 10% increase. Now, mind you, the house that we rented is a nice house, beautiful home that had potential.
Right.
It didn't look like that when we went in to see it.
No, it was a straight hot mess.
Hot with a capital T at the end. Hot
mess. Yeah.
But it was in a wonderful neighborhood, and we were able to see past, at least I was able to see past it because it had really good bones, and the house is fantastic, which is you're going to see as these next couple of videos that introduce our House Hunter series will show you.
Right.
Fabulous house.
Yep.
Luxury neighborhood. It's one of the nicest neighborhoods in the whole city of Querétaro.
Gated, but double gated.
Because
there's the main entrance, and then for where the condominiums are and the health club or the exercise club, and then into where the villas are located is where we were.
Right.
That also has a guards gate.
Now, mind you, these are expensive homes. They would be considered more on the luxury side of things.
Right.
And we had heard from some other expats that are in the area that luxury home prices were dropping like flies. And if you should probably ask and negotiate with your landlord to try to renegotiate the rent and not actually do the 10% increase because they can't get rid of these houses.
Right.
These houses are fabulous and they're not able to get them rented or what have you. So why don't y'all ask your landlord? So we said, bet,
right.
We'll ask him.
We'll ask.
So we go in, we set up a meeting to have him and his wife come in to meet with us. And the wife didn't show up.
Well, yeah, and he said that she could not make it. It was just him and his daughter.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So we say to him, we're thinking about, now mind you, at the same time, our son is leaving for college. Our youngest daughter, she's eventually going to be leaving for college this time next year, she's going to be off at college. Our oldest is moving to Mexico City. Will we really need this big house?
Right.
And so that was kind of in our minds too.
Because the house that we're living in, if you follow us, there's a actual front part of the house that's a separate house that's attached, full kitchen, enough sleeping area for one or two people, two full baths.
Yeah.
So, and it had its own separate entrance in. So we were, using that as an Airbnb.
Yes. And so if you were looking for our Airbnb, that is where we had our entrance, or the Airbnb in our property.
Right.
So we came in and had a conversation with him, with the landlord, to introduce the topic of perhaps maybe we can renegotiate this price. One of the things he says to us, he picks up his cell phone,
Right.
and he says, I was looking at some of the other properties in the neighborhood, and I see that they get 90,000 pesos. They're asking for 90,000, which is like
almost
dang near $5,000.
It's over 5,000 a month. No.
Excuse you?
No. And it was kind of a veiled threat. It was kind of letting us know that I could be charging you this. Now, we had just let him know that our son was leaving. We didn't need the entire space, so we were going to give up.
We were thinking about
giving up that front part of the house that's like a attached casita.
Right. So it's basically the two houses, but each had their own separate water or own separate light bill, own separate, their
Water
meters
bill
and things of that nature.
That wasn't separate. It was together.
Separate gas.
Gas. Yeah. So, laundry room, the whole shoot match. I mean, it was actually
separate refrigerator, separate kitchen, separate everything. Separate laundry room, separate. It was basically a separate unit. So we were at that point in time kind of considering and toying around with the idea that, wonder what would happen if we thought about maybe just staying with the side that we were living on, our main side.
Right.
And he goes, it's a good thing that as a matter of fact, we were thinking about moving back to Querétaro. And how would you feel if we bought all your stuff
in the small house side
in your Airbnb and we live there?
Fireworks,
sorry guys. How would you feel about, selling us all your stuff, which Jack kind of felt creepy.
Right. And also, he said we were looking at staying in the small house and taking the office. Now, my office / hobby room, it was kind of like a separator to the house. It was a room, but a pass-through. And so he knew that space was a part of what we needed.
Right.
And so
just the very fact that they were, I guess they had seen our Airbnb. They loved, they've always, every time they've come into the house, always raved about what we had done to the place
but there's
how we decorated the place and all that.
Sticky point when his daughter presented to him about the fact that, the Airbnb and how much we charged per night, and
they seem kind of jealous. Yeah, I'm not even on. Yeah. They seem kind of jealous.
So he was trying to thwart this whole Airbnb thing by them coming back to stay there and take it away. But we preempted that by saying, we want to downsize. We don't need that side of space. So in his negotiation, by the veiled threat and also by wanting to take that space,
we didn't feel too good about it.
And then
it to be frank, it turned us off.
Yes, it did.
It turned us off. The fact that we had been such great tenants, had taken such fantastic care of the property, had brought the property back from the brink and restored it to its former grandeur. Was just,
And
we're never late
updating
on
the
that.
house to a smart home ready by running
Exactly.
Ethernet cable
At
through
our expense,
at
had
our
already
expense.
done all these had upgrades and stuff to fix the house. And it wasn't like we were expecting anything from it, because we needed to have the
Ethernet.
house
Yeah.
wired like that, just because that's what we need to operate.
So real quick, I'm not going to go.
Yes, you
No,
are.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Homes in Mexico are built with masonry and steel, so you have to have Ethernet in order to have good connectivity. Wi-Fi just doesn't do well in houses constructed like that. So we had to put that infrastructure.
Okay,
in.
well, that was good job.
Yeah.
Good job. Okay, I thought he was going to go into depth, because
No,
this is
no.
a system administrator guy who, he would go there. Anywho,
I have to get
to
rid
make a
of this.
long to make
She's
a
getting
long
heavy.
story short,
Girl.
it felt as if we were kind of being
Fleeced.
Fleeced. That's a good term for it.
Yeah.
Fleeced. It felt like we were being fleeced. And he said, "Well, let us take it back and let me think about it, or whatever."
He got ghost.
Bad mistake.
He got ghost and
Bad
just-
mistake, because in the time frame that it took him to get back to us, which was almost like a week.
Yes.
Ghost. We got ghosted for a week, left on unread for a week. He left me to my own devices, because by that time I had already heard that prices were dropping, and I was like, well, let me see what's out there. Oh,
Yeah.
nice houses that were almost half as much.
Right. So, two other things that kind of made it undesirable. There's a water situation that's going on over there where someone's siphoning off water,
Right,
and
we're
they're
getting
charged, and not just us. Every resident in the neighborhood is being charged an extra exorbitant amount to cover that cost.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing is that someone planned a robbery.
Oh yeah, that's right. They had this horrible robbery. Armed. Now, mind you, this is supposed to be a double gated community, and the power was cut to the entire neighborhood. The power was cut to the entire neighborhood so that they could rob the house that was on the backside of the community.
They had scoped out. They had cased these two houses, knew what they had in the house, and went directly to those.
They cut the power and went directly, held them up at night at gunpoint, tied the family up and everything. We were like, wait one friggin' minute.
Right.
Okay, problem.
Yeah, problem.
So I immediately began to feel like, I don't feel so safe in this particular neighborhood, even though it's supposed to be one of the best in the entire city.
Yeah.
That definitely was an inside job. So I'm not necessarily concerned about the security in general, but because that was an inside job. I mean, literally, they cut the power and went straight over there to that house.
Right.
So I don't know what was going on with them, but there you go. So we had by that time gotten a chance to go explore our options and found another house where the owner not only was the house almost brand new, it was like 3 years old.
3 years old.
3 years old, but also it was available that the owner, the investor who owned the house, wanted to sell it to us. So we were like, oh.
Yep, we can do a rent to own.
Rent to own? What? And then on top of that, it's almost half as much.
Correct.
in the neighborhood that is very nice, up and coming neighborhood in the community, all kinds of amenities, all kinds of services and things of that nature in this area of Querétaro. I was like, well,
Right.
Okay, well, leave us unread.
And other thing, he was offering a 2-year lease with
no increase.
No increase.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You're right.
Mm.
So we were like, oh, wait a minute.
And
2-year lease, no increase.
And the space fits us and our needs. So
turns out we weren't really even downsizing.
No.
We actually got the same amount of large home space, then
Right.
just configured differently, but it actually works better for us in the long run because it fits our family a little bit better than that other space did.
Right.
So we were like, oh, want to leave us unread, huh?
Right.
Okay, okay, bet. So we made that move.
Someone in our family put it in a very,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
but basically he played something and got something. I can't repeat it because
No, you can't even
it's
say
not
that.
PG.
It's not. But you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes,
Right.
and so that's why the house right now is sitting available.
And he's asking 65.
Yeah, he's had
No one's going to pay that.
no
One's going to pay that unless if I had to pay, and which equals out to about a little over $3,700 a month, I would go and have something built.
There's no way. We came to Mexico to decrease our expenses, not to go in the opposite direction.
So if you hear this story about, expats and immigrants are driving the cost up, no. These greedy owners are asking for. Let the houses sit. Let them stew in it.
Yeah.
Let them marinate on these high prices that they're asking.
Meanwhile, you just let your good tenants who took care, fantastic care of your house,
absolutely,
paid you on time, and actually paid you in cash like you wanted.
Right. Because a lot of these they want it under the table.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. Oh well.
Right.
So that's where we have been. We have been, listen. I've lived many places. Lamar hasn't lived. I mean, well, since he met me, he's had to move a lot.
Yeah.
But it is nothing for me to pack up my stuff and get the hell out if I'm not being treated correctly. And so, one two things, we packed up and had a moving company come gather us up.
They packed us
up, moved us out, and we left the house better than it was before.
And had it cleaned. Once we got out, it had it
professionally cleaned. It was beautiful. Everything was touched up, and it was Serve Pro.
Yeah, like unlike when we walked in there were piles and piles and piles of garbage and bags
and dog poop
on the floor
in the house. So
yuck.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So that's the beginning of our experience. It's usually quiet. We sit down to do a live.
This is like when parents get on the phone and the baby's sitting in the corner, and all of a sudden mama's on the phone. It's like, Mama.
I know, right?
No, stop. I'm on the phone.
The dog wants to get in the lap.
She's down here whining.
They want to set off fireworks and fire. Okay.
Mexico's famous for their party on. They keep partying, and somebody's got extra fireworks. They let them off whenever.
It is. We want to say, let's say, oh hey. So we've got our friends are on. Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
Our friends Rick and Halisi.
Yep.
Hi guys. Yeah.
Howdy.
Yeah. We've been going through right now. Welcome to the family, Diane.
Yep.
Welcome to the family. I'm glad that you are joining us for the first of the month.
She's from our area.
Yes, indeed. So welcome. And homeschool life at Sandy Shores. Okay, now.
Yeah.
All right, now go on with your homeschool self. I've been there, done that.
Yep.
Been there, done that. And yeah, Alenka. Yeah, girl. It was rough. Yeah. It was rough, but we have been able to, get through it or what have you. Now, one of the pain points for us when we were doing the whole move process, first of all, I've been a realtor in my past. And so I know how to spot a good property. I know how to spot a property that's going to go up in value. I know how to spot them.
Right.
So, and I know what this guy likes.
I'm picky.
Yes. Y'all heard him? Okay, y'all heard that, right? We got this over camera. He said it. He is picky. Yes, he is.
But that's an asset.
Well, by this point, we've been together more than 20 years. I know what he likes and what he's not going to go for. So it was, I just hit the bricks and started finding some properties and lining them up. So pretty much the properties. I mean, we did kiss a couple frogs. You're going to see these videos too, because we took these videos of those houses too. So you're about to see all of those videos, the first set of houses and this second set in that whole House Hunter series. So you are, stay tuned to our channel. And like I said before, subscribe to our channel because you're going to see for a family what houses look like in Querétaro. Because a lot of times when you hear people are moving to an area or expats or are interested in what real estate is like or something like that, you'll hear prices for an apartment or for a single person. But the houses that we looked at were for families. Yeah. So you're going to see that.
Yeah, there's certain things that you don't see in houses in Mexico. And in the kitchen, one of the houses had...
Don't give it away.
And it wasn't actually what it actually, they said it what we're used to in the States that's in the kitchen that they said it had. And it was...
Yeah, let's put it like this. They do some very strange stuff.
Different. They and I don't have an issue with, because Mexican folk, they hustle.
Yeah, true.
They're resourceful.
Very true.
They figure things out.
Very true.
One of my friends, and Angie knows this, said that, you know, they work hard, but they will find a shortcut sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes those shortcuts aren't ideal.
Yeah.
You know, because one thing they don't use here when they do electricity here is they don't use wire nuts.
Oh my God. And so anywho,
That's terrible.
so a lot of the things that we saw, you could see something from really high-end luxury homes on one end to places that
somebody one was
shifty and shady.
One was self-designed, and the design was...
Oh yeah, yeah. You guys are about to see all of that. All of that. So we can't wait to now officially drop the House Hunter series now that we're back. So we moved into this house, and one of the very first things that we had to, that this guy had to get it going, was to also get the whole house wired for internet. We knew that this was going to be something that was definitely needed. Just like you mentioned before, internet has to be.
It has to work. It has to work. And fortunately, this house, the internal infrastructure, when they bake these houses, when they're made with concrete, they put the conduits, everything is in it. You can't change it.
Yeah.
It's not like in the United States where you have drywall and you can cut the walls. No. So fortunately, the conduits were here. They were empty because they didn't run the coax for wire for coax.
But it's a brand new house.
It's a brand new house.
It's a brand new house. So it was easy for us to.
Yeah, well, you say easy. It was.
Well,
it was a labor-intensive task.
It was labor-intensive. Us on the roof, running cables and pulling it through conduits and all that kind of stuff to make sure that all of the outlets in every room had direct wired Ethernet capability, so that our smart televisions could be able to be plugged in directly, so that we would get the optimum signal for our internet, for Wi-Fi, for all of that kind of thing. So that was our first foremost. So we had to get all that done, which is why we weren't able to have our live last month, because we were still in the process of getting all that up and running and getting all that together and all that kind of stuff. In the meantime, was that before or after you got sick?
Oh, so somebody, one of them had to be one, because we don't get out that often. We get out to go places, but not.
We're very selective about who we mix with.
So it must have been one of the movers that had COVID.
Yeah.
And I ended up with COVID.
Yeah.
And it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't fun.
Right.
Growing
and
up,
by extension, I got COVID because he had COVID, and I have a compromised immune system. So
I grew up with asthma and bronchitis, so it just...
So that kind of put a dent in things too. So
and I had to push through it while moving, and then after the move, dealing with the recovery from that.
Right. Yeah. So, and we're vaccinated too, so it's like, but thank God.
Yes, I'm glad, because
it's not the first time. It's not the first time I've had. Yeah, it's not the first time I've been vaccinated and had COVID or what have you. It was, I would say, probably the mildest case for me. and maybe because my body is trying to form some sort of antibodies to the whole thing or what have you, but it wasn't fun. It wasn't a
No,
pleasant experience there.
no, not at all. So,
And then also we've had quite, or at least I have,
yeah.
because who died? Your aunt, yeah,
That's it. Aunt Lil's,
Aunt Lil
that
died
was
earlier
last.
this.
No, that
Oh,
was
that was
last.
last year, right?
That was last year.
So it's
And
been me. All
so
of my surviving aunts on my mother's side have died within the last couple of months.
I only have one surviving uncle slash aunt, and that's it. On my mother's side, they're all gone.
Right.
On my dad's side, there's one, the youngest son, and he's still alive.
Yeah. So on my mother's side, and my mother had a very large family. All three of her remaining sisters died within months of each other. So it's just been death upon death upon death. And we knew that they're, these are people who are elderly and are
I
getting in
mean,
their age, getting of
we're
age.
older. We're older, so of
Speak for
course.
yourself.
Oh, come on now.
Okay. How dare you?
I'm thankful. I'm thankful every day because I'm 61 years old. So I mean, and I've had classmates in the last few years just drop dead for whatever reason.
Yeah, true.
And I'm grateful for being here year after year after year.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful.
But that was, something that took some
Time
adjustment to all of this death in our family and the move and just, so there's been a lot. We've had a lot on our plate.
Yeah.
A lot. So, but thank you guys for tuning in, and all of you who are watching us live. Thank you guys for, just hanging in there with us, because it's just been crazy.
Yeah. So,
life has been lifing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been crazy. But we're hoping that now things will start to slow down and start to calm down, even though we're heading into the whole Dia de los Muertos season, the Day of the Dead, and we're about to head into, after that, it's right here in Mexico, they go straight into Christmas.
Yeah.
It's almost like they hit the Dia de los Muertos, and then
there's
boom,
there's
Christmas.
There's no Thanksgiving.
They don't have Thanksgiving, but they just go straight into Christmas.
Although they make provisions for expats here because they do have turkeys,
Yes.
butterball turkeys,
Yes.
and things like that. So, I mean, we can still
do our regular Christmas like we did before.
Yeah, Thanksgiving and everything. And then after that, winter comes here. And last year was our first winter, and it would get cold at night.
Yeah, now that's the wonderful thing about living here in Querétaro. The weather is really nice. It's not when it gets hot. Now there was that fluke that we had earlier this summer where it got where that whole heat wave was happening in the States. Some of it happened here in Querétaro, but check this out. People here were talking about, oh my God, it's 85 or 89 degrees. It's so hot. And I'm like,
and no humidity. So it's not like DC. DC, 89, 90, 95 with 85 or 90% humidity, you're miserable.
Yeah.
If you come back into the house here, immediately the temperature drops 10, 15, 20 degrees because at higher elevations like we are here, the sun's a little bit more intense when you're in it. When you come out of it, you're good. So this house has no air conditioning.
Oh, right. Yeah.
None. There's no heat.
There's no air conditioning, no heat, but you do not need it because it is absolutely 100%. It feels like one of the attractive parts to this house when we were looking at it was the fact that it feels like the air conditioning is on because of where it's located
and the way it's built. Because the front of the house where we're on the third level of the house right now.
Yeah.
So the sliding glass door that goes out to the rooftop garden is open, and the sliding glass door at the bottom of the house is open. So there's this major cross breeze that sucks down through the house.
And the way it's positioned into the hills of the area, you get this
It
continuous
was
breeze that
And
flows
for
through the
whatever
house.
reason, in the evenings it intensifies and it gets a little chilly sometimes.
Yeah, it
Because
gets a little cold.
yeah,
Not chilly, it's cold.
because of lack of humidity, the ground is porous and it doesn't hold the heat, so it gets chilly at night.
Yeah, it gets a little chilly, but you need a little sweater. I
So
wouldn't say necessarily like coat or anything, but definitely a little sweater.
now in the wintertime here, you have to be mindful. We didn't know. I mean, being new here, you go to Costco, and I told Angie when I was going through, somebody had like 12, 15 blankets, and I was like, why did it? But it got chilly cold. For
Yeah.
them, it was because they're acclimated to this climate. It was cold to them. For me, I was still wearing shorts and what I have on now. So it was like, what are you doing?
He wears shorts year round.
Oh,
but you can here. You can wear shorts
lovely.
year round here.
The temperature is great, and so we're going to have to be on our P's and Q's because we do need to get a few more heaters here just for that time frame of maybe 2 weeks when it gets cold.
Oh, I'm gonna thug it out.
You gonna thug it out?
I'm gonna thug it out with my onesie and my my little my flannel pajamas. I'm gonna thug it out.
Yeah, but you definitely have to keep the windows closed because
yeah, for sure.
At night it dropped down. I think a couple of times it dropped down to almost 35 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, that's like in the dead of winter when it was like really really cold. But normally it's probably like in the 50s.
Right.
Or so, and then during the day it might go up into maybe the low 80s, maybe high 70s.
Yeah.
Is usually what the temperature is here.
Yeah.
So it's very comfortable year round.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we love most about being here in Querétaro. So yeah. So yeah, that was a lot, guys. It has been a lot, and I'm looking forward to having life calm down for us to be able to bring to you. So drop in the comment box below anything that you want us to cover, because we've got a couple things that we want to bring to you that are in our plans. Like, for instance, someone asked me about hair care.
Right.
Someone asked me, what do you do for your hair? Yeah, good question. But we've been able to make do. So I want to show you guys around Querétaro to introduce you to the places and the things where I go.
Barbershops are easy. Because Ben and I found one in the previous neighborhood, a good barber. Hair cutting is hair cutting. If you're a good barber, you can cut anyone's hair. It doesn't matter.
We want to introduce to you also about healthcare, because we've had several incidents of where we've had to go get some treatment for things. Ben has had surgery. I have had a surgery and can do it because it's now affordable.
Right.
So we want to take you around and show you the videos of that whole experience.
Right.
But if there's some things that you're curious about living in Mexico, or some things about the day-to-day life that you want to see, put it in the comment box below. So we want to make sure that we bring you content that is of use to you, so that you know. Because I know that when we were exploring and just looking at areas and things of that nature, especially for a family, there were points that I was really considering. So we've got a whole segment that we have are going to be releasing about schools, how to find a school for your kid.
Right.
What do you do about schools? What do you do about jobs? About what's the employment scene like for expats or for those who are American? All kinds of questions that I know I had when I was looking for and just exploring the various possibilities. So if you have some questions or things of that nature, drop it in the comment box below. We will love to take a look at that for you.
Yeah, and for if they're paying attention or watching, my RC friends, there have been some videos taken by my lovely wife coming out every once in a while. That's one of the reasons we ended up here.
That's true.
Is because there's a RC or remote control racing track here, and that's a big enjoyment of mine. I've been doing it since late 90s, and it's a lot of fun. So,
but one of the things that we're also going to bring is the whole neighborhood concept
Yes.
too. We're going to take you around to some neighborhoods here in Querétaro
Right.
and introduce you to those that are family friendly, that
Yeah.
we would call family friendly. Now, mind you, our kids, hopefully,
We're getting close to being empty nesters.
yes, yes. So we are on the tail end of our family experience in terms of having the kids here, but we have a very sensitive eye for what little kids. If you have like kids that are in elementary school, what are the options for you if you have elementary school age kids?
Right.
And if you have
Yeah.
middle school kids, we still are very much in the thick of that community. So we
Right.
want to make sure we bring that information to you as well.
Yeah. This area is fireworks. Um, to watch, I had never seen it up close as, house building. What you should expect
Oh,
when you want to have a house built, how to purchase land,
right.
um, and which
Hiring your architect
architect,
to
and
design a home for
the
you.
architect is also the general contractor.
Oh, yeah, true. Very true.
So
Very true.
and we've been watching next door here. The people who are building houses, they come out to kind of supervise,
Yeah, so
to
it's very
watch the
interesting.
progress.
Very interesting. So
Yeah.
we've seen there have been a number of our friends who have gone through the process, and so we want to sit down with one of our friends who is an architect and have that conversation about how to design your own house from scratch
Right.
and how to pick land and how to find those types of things.
Right.
Just in case you're interested.
Yeah. So, and also, I guess that's the guy that I'm going to sit down and talk to about network stuff.
Oh, yeah, because Lamar feels very passionate that
Well,
these architects don't think of some
it's an afterthought.
yeah,
It's an after, and not just here in Mexico, just in the United States.
That's true.
It's something that needs to, because with this technology-driven world,
oh my gosh,
you need a good infrastructure in your house that with Ethernet connectivity. A lot of people think that Wi-Fi is the end all beat all, but until Wi-Fi gets to the speed of an Ethernet connection, it's not going to work. Hi, Candy. She is so spoiled.
So she is our kind of our signal that we've probably been on too long.
Yeah.
And because she's given us the look like.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is our big baby, but we might be adding to our family again now that, especially since our old man, we came here with 2 dogs. Our oldest has left us in
Yeah.
May of this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
May he rest in peace. But he was
good dog.
Yeah, 17.
17.
17.
He would have been 18 this year.
Yeah, he would
in
have been
November.
18 in November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But good dog. If anyone thinks that dogs don't have personality, that don't have feelings, that don't think.
Beyond that, if you don't like dogs, I would probably say don't come to Mexico.
Dogs everywhere.
Dogs are everywhere. It's got a big dog culture here in Mexico. So if you like dogs, like we like dogs,
although
you're welcome.
At night, we're not thrilled sometimes because there's a community of dogs down the street that like to sing at night.
Yeah.
When I say sing, they don't sing. They and they off and on do it for about 3 or 4 minutes, and they stop, and then they come back and they start howling again. I'm like, what's going on? I ask Candy, what are they talking about?
Yeah, what are they talking about, Candy?
What are they talking about? What's going on? But,
right.
But if you don't like dogs, you don't want to come here.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be your vibe. If you're afraid of dogs, Mexico may not be for you. But there's a strong dog culture here. Yeah. Strong dog culture.
Yes, they love dogs here. Some people, we see them out walking their dogs. They have 2, 3, 4 dogs. And you'll go to some of these smaller pueblos that have tiendas, and on the main street, you'll see dogs walking up and down the street, begging outside the butcher's house. So dogs everywhere.
Yeah.
So if you don't like dogs, not the place for you.
That's true.
But we love dogs. We do.
Also, if you don't like if you aren't used to having to, how should I say, adapt, if you're kind of an inflexible type, and uh, that's Mexico's probably not your place either, because you definitely have to. It takes a level of learning how to just relax and go with the flow.
Yeah.
Living here in Mexico, which is one of the things that we've had to greatly um, had to adjust to. Well, I wouldn't say greatly because I
Yeah.
think we both kind of roll with the punches, but
Yeah.
I think that for those who, if you are used to a certain lifestyle, if you are used to things being a certain way and accustomed to that way being that way in the United States, you're going to come to Mexico and it's going to flip your wig.
And if you come here,
It's going to flip your wig.
if you come here to Querétaro, you might want to really start hitting some kind of language app
Most definitely.
and being able to speak Spanish, because unlike like San Miguel de Allende,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
no,
Cancun or some of the other touristy spots where you can find places
or
that
Puerto
speak English.
Vallarta, no,
Yeah,
no, you need to,
you need
because
to know Spanish.
Spanish.
Here in Querétaro.
you
You need to know Spanish.
yes,
Definitely. I mean, they'll work with you
Yeah.
if you don't know Spanish. So for us, we've been able to, but I don't know, we've been able to actually get around. We opened our own bank account.
Yeah.
All by ourselves.
Yep, all by itself.
All by yourself, as our son used to say when he was little. We've opened our own bank accounts. We've done our own utilities and things of that nature. So we have.
Yeah.
we
Now,
have-
now, just to set your expectations, I don't know if this is every bank, but the bank we dealt with, it took us 3 days, 4
Yeah.
days. It shouldn't have taken that long, but
No
you know,
comment.
it's just set your expectations for things being done different.
Different.
Not that it's bad; it's just different. And if you grew up here with this style of operating, then it wouldn't be a big deal. But if you come from somewhere like the United States or
And
somewhere,
we're used to having stuff. Okay, what's up? Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get it. Let's go. What time? What?
Right.
You know, we're used to this pace, and Mexicans don't move at this pace.
no,
They don't. They move at kind of like that pace, you
Right.
know. Yeah. And that can be a little,
it for some who
it takes some adjustment.
yeah, if you don't like that, you just got to get used to it. It is what it is. I mean, that water pressure in houses or things like that.
Yeah. There's just a lot of little things that are different that require some getting used to. But other than that, we absolutely love it here.
Yes.
Absolutely. And every
Right
time
now,
I
it's
talk
feeling real good. This
it is
breeze is
feeling
coming in here good.
It is feeling really good.
Ooh.
And as a matter of fact, when I talk to my family back home and they ask, you know, well, when are you guys coming back?
Like dude said in Harlem Nights, tell your mama I ain't coming back.
Yeah.
I ain't coming back.
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, if we decided to explore another place, it still wouldn't be coming back to the United States.
No, and especially the way things are happening there.
Oh, Lord. So at any rate,
Yeah.
we don't want to hold y'all long. And we
Yes.
try to keep this, we're going to try to keep this first of the month live as short as possible.
Well, it's it's okay.
As short as possible.
Yeah.
And encourage you to, again, subscribe to our channel. Help us reach our milestone. Please, I'm not too proud to
Share
beg.
with your friends.
That's right. I'm not too proud to beg.
Share.
Subscribe
As,
to our
as the
channel.
old Pearl commercial would go, tell a friend, and so on, and so
Is that,
on.
was
Yeah.
that Pro?
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember. the
Oh,
commercial.
yeah, see, he's older.
Yeah, tell so same thing. Tell a friend, and so on, and so on, and so on. Just keep doing it.
I think I remember that commercial.
Yeah.
I think I do remember that commercial.
Mhm.
So one of the things that you're going to see next up on our channel is our House Hunter series. So
Yep.
we want to encourage you to tune in
Tune
because
in.
I'm giving you the full-fledged skinny and detailed tour because that's the way I like them.
Yeah.
I like them. I like to show you the nitty gritty.
Yep.
And we want to also show you what we were working with. And then perhaps you can discover which house it was that we just moved out of and which house it was that we just moved into. Lamar done gave up some hints. Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Mhm.
Nothing. I hadn't said a word.
Yes, you did. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to our first of the month.
Yeah.
And we want to encourage you to stick with us.
Peace.
Bye.
21 people.
Yay.